With the US taking baby steps towards recovery, one man is banking on the internet to help heal the wounds of the global economy. That man is Nobel Prize winner and former dean of the Stanford Graduate School of Business, Michael Spence. I'm pleased to say he joins me now. Michael, thanks for coming in. There's probably a contrary view that you're taking when you're looking about the internet and its role it's going to play in the economic recovery, because many had counted the internet out.
I think you're absolutely right, Stan. The effect of the bubble was to cause many people just to think that it was all a charade, a sham. Whereas I think if you look at it in the longer term, you have a very powerful weapon for coordinating economic activity.
And the key to that is information, isn't it? Your theory of asymmetric information, if I could try to summarize it in very layman's terms, the better quality of information, the more information you have, the better your chances in the marketplace.
Absolutely true.
So the internet operates, I suppose, as a democratizing tool when you look at information flow around the world.
Yeah, economists call the costs of trying to coordinate economic activity transaction costs. It's a whole variety of things having to do with manual processing of information, mistakes, time delays, and so on. And the internet lowers those dramatically, and it lowers them more in the developing world because they were higher formerly. So it is democratic in that sense.
If information is the key, and information is provided by the internet, why wasn't there enough information to predict the bubble and the burst?
Well, because we were in uncharted territory, and the mistake that many of us made, I would plead guilty to this, is not to think that this was going to be quite revolutionary, but to way overestimate the speed with which it would happen. This is going to take decades. Infrastructure has to be built out and so on.
And I suppose you're talking to it a process of globalization and the difficulties of ironing out the free trade around the world.
Absolutely. No, there are many, many impediments, some technological, some behavioral change on the part of companies and individuals and governments and so on. It's just a complex thing. People don't change their behavior overnight. You
were saying before about the information that you had probably wasn't up to scratch, that it was uncharted territory. And looking at technological advances, what are we likely to see in information flow, information quality, and more importantly, the development of technology over the next decade?
The main event is going to be the building out of a global infrastructure that gives people reliable, high-speed, always-on access to information no matter where it's located. And then on that platform, you will see businesses, universities, governments, lots of different kinds of organizations build better processes.
So when you talk about gadgets, gizmos, I suppose, that we can't even contemplate it at this point.
Yeah, most of it is undiscovered at this point, Stan.
So looking forward then, we're in a tech slump at the moment, and people are wondering when the next boost is going to come from, when the tech sector is going to get the next kick in from. You would say that is inevitable.
I think it's nearly inevitable. We do have excess capacity in telecommunications and weak financial conditions, excess debt. It won't be easy to work ourselves out of this recession, slump, whatever you want to call it. But I think in the longer term, the power of the technology is simply irresistible.
How important is technology going to be in leading the United States, and as a result of it, the rest of the world economy as well, out of the slump?
I think it's probably less important in that respect. I expect us to come out of the slump with the normal process of restoring inventories to sensible levels, taking down excess capacity, and growth in sort of ordinary industries, consumer sectors and so on. I expect those to be the engines that pull us out.
Just to finish up on a broader sort of general question, I suppose, on the economy, if you're looking at what we've seen, this sort of fits and starts recovery that we've seen in the United States, how is it going to get across the line? And is it too much to ask for the United States to drag the rest of the world economy along with it?
Well, I think we're going to have to drag each other along. The fits and starts are unusual, and I think they're the result of the overlaying of uncertainty associated with terrorism, possibility of war in various parts of the world, and so on. This causes people to be conservative in their behavior, and so the normal recoveries aren't happening as quickly as we would hope.
Well, I appreciate you coming in and sharing your thoughts with us today. Michael Spence there, Nobel Prize laureate.